When you're writing the AP argument essay, you're going to have a huge advantage if you know the answers to every prompt before you even start to think of evidence. In this video, I'll show you how to find the hidden answers in every prompt so you will cook that essay and not get cooked yourself. All your prompts will start out this way. In this one, it's telling us who Amanda Gorman is. She's a National Youth Poet Laureate of the United States. Exceptional artistic expression, civic engagement, social impact. She gave an interview in 2021, and she said that optimism shouldn't be seen as opposed to pessimism, but in conversation with it, your optimism will never be as powerful as it is in that exact moment when you want to give up. And then she defines, that's all context. This part here is the question stem or task. This one is telling you exactly what you're supposed to do in relation to Gorman's claim. In this one, you're supposed to argue your position on the extent to which Gorman's claims about the relationship between optimism and pessimism is valid. In this part here, finally, this is the instructions. This will not change no matter what AP argument prompt you're getting. Go ahead and kind of memorize this right now, but you'll never have to think of it again. You just have to have a thesis that defends your position, have evidence to support your line of reasoning, explain how your evidence supports your line of reasoning, and use appropriate grammar and punctuation. Again, this will always be the same. It's telling you basically just follow the basic rules of good writing. Now the answers. For every prompt, no matter what it is, there are basically three. They are yes, no, and maybe. In this Gorman prompt, yes would be a position that says that optimism and pessimism are always in conversation with one another, and one is never powerful without the other. In other words, I'm saying, yes, I agree with everything Gorman said in all cases. No would mean I don't think she's right. I think that optimism and pessimism are totally separate. You're either a hater or a dreamer, but you're never both. And finally, the third option is maybe. Maybe doesn't mean you're confused, and it doesn't mean you don't know the answer, though. All it means is that you're smart. It means you understand the complexity of the issue. In this case, it might mean that you think that Gorman's statement about optimism and pessimism are valid in some situations, but not in other situations. Or you might even play with the definition of the words. If you think of optimism in one way, it might be true and valid, but not in other ways. Her language here still is kind of vague, and it leaves you some room to argue about definitions. College Board is practically begging you to pick maybe. They want you to find a boundary where the answer flips from yes to no. Now, this method I just showed you, it will work on every prompt. Take this Anne Morrow Lindbergh prompt. It tells you, again, just like the other one, it introduces a work, introduces an author, it introduces a claim. We tend not to choose the unknown, which might be a shock or disappointment, or simply a little difficult to cope with. And yet it is the unknown with all its disappointments, that surprises, that is the most enriching. This one says, consider the value Lindbergh places on choosing the unknown. Then write an essay in which you develop your own position on the value of exploring the unknown. And so in this one, we're especially interested in this one of her ideas. We tend not to choose the unknown, which might be a shock or disappointment. It is all this stuff about the shock or disappointment that makes it most enriching. So we've got three answers. Yes, the unknown that gives us surprises and disappointments is always the most enriching. No. The unknown that surprises and shocks us and disappoints us is not the most enriching. Or maybe. Sometimes the unknown that is most surprising and disappointing can be the most enriching, but in other times it is not the most enriching. By enriching, we mean has the most value. This prompt tells you in the context, it's about a local university, and it's going to collect incoming students' cell phones and keep them for 48 hours. Whoa, wait. All right, just don't panic. This is just hypothetical. It's just a question. Keep reading. The purpose is to give students an opportunity to integrate into their new school culture and make friends on campus. Consider the effects of this initiative and the extent to which they might support, complicate, or contradict its goals. Here, it's basically telling me the three possible answers. Yes, I think that the effects of the cell phone ban are going to support the goals. No, I think that the effects of the cell phone ban are going to contradict the goals. Or maybe, I think that the effects of the cell phone ban might complement or support the university's goals in some ways, but not support it in other ways. So now I've shown you how to apply the three possible answers of yes, no, and maybe to a variety of prompts. So whichever prompt that AP gives you this year, you're going to know the answers to that prompt. And once you know the possible answers, once you know all three of them, you can then start to generate evidence so you can support a position. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to use the T-chart and the Chelps method to help find the evidence that tells you which position you should best support with your ideas. Thanks for watching Zubify. Come back for more Zubify.